Hey everybody, let's focus on this simple linear example, algebra example. This is a simple problem. Considers on and that focuses on the change of basis, right? Change of basis subject in linear algebra. Here, this is a given vector. This is defined on the standard basis. Let me call the vectors. Let me name them E1, E2, and E3. All right. And I guess physicists would write this something like this, right? Okay. And some physicists only can write this, right? And maybe they would also write something, right? E1 or V script 1 1. All right, this is totally unrated, by the way, and but this is something I saw, right? And here when we write this geometric object, right? 3 times E1 plus 2, here this is 2, right? 2 times E2, E sub 2, right? Plus this is 1 times E1, right? And here it is asked that what is V1 in that basis, right? So let's call them, let's name them F1, F2, and F3, right? So the problem here is this: something times F1 plus something times F2 plus something times F3. We know E1, E2, E3, oh, one sec, right? E3, right? And we also know F1, F2, and F3 numerically, right? And we need to determine this three, basically three numbers, right? Okay, and those two geometric objects are equal to each other. And let's check this. There's part B, but let's not focus on that part B. Let's focus on part A right now, right? And here, basically, this is how you would write this geometric object, right? And this is how you would write this geometric object, and I called A, B, and C, right? Okay, that's great. And let me delete some of them. And we need to determine compute A, B, C, right? These entries of that vector. And this is basic matrix inversion linear algebra operation at this point, right? We will invert this matrix, right? And then multiply it with that matrix. And finally, I'm skipping off a bunch of stuff, right? Operations that are not 100% necessary. And we will determine ABC matrix in that form, right? Okay. Of course, we will totally use MATLAB for that, even for the 3 by 3 case. We will use MATLAB, right? And okay, let's delete some of them. And let's focus on part B. This is the basis vectors, right? And the vector xyz, xyz is defined on that vector basis. Here, this is the basis where xyz vector is defined on, right? And this is another basis, and this vector is defined on that basis, right? And it is basically, let me delete some, right? Let's call them F1, F2, and F3, right? Let's name them, right? And let's call them G1, G2, and G3. So this problem basically says this: x times F1 plus y times F2 plus z times F3, right? These are vectors, right? and that is equal to, right, and what is that? A times g1 plus b times g2 plus c times g3. Okay, this is the equality that we need to focus on, right? Here the variation between these two vectors is being asked, right? And we can basically write down this geometrical object with that expression, right? Some matrix whose columns are populated by the basis vectors, right? Times the vector, right? In that basis, of course, and again some matrix, right? And the vector, all right? And let me delete a bunch of things. Finally, this is that object, right? And this is that geometric object, right? We will write in that fashion to indicate that geometrical objects, right? And at this moment, it is only a matter of inverting a given 3 by 3 matrix, right? And we would determine ABC here is this vector, right? Wait. I'm making a gross mistake. Wait a sec. Let me, I really confuse myself. Let me write down here. Okay, this is part B, I'm sorry. So this is the how we would write this, right? Geometric object. And this is how we would write this geometrical object, right? And here, right? And then let's arrange that term as well, right? So we need to invert this matrix to have the relationship between xyz and abc, right? And this is simple linear algebra operation at this moment. And here, this is the relation that we will compute, right? Okay, thanks for watching.